I am the teller of stories. Come in, sit down. Today's story, the five friends are taken on an adventure to ancient Egypt. They're trapped in a pyramid. Can they escape? Sit back, relax, and listen to Princess Ruby and the Magic Book, the five friends lost in the pyramid. Princess Ruby looked up at the clock on the wall. It's nearly 10 o'clock. My friends will be here soon, she said to herself. Just at that moment, the door opened and in walked her four friends. Hi, Ruby, said Casey. What shall we do today? Ruby replied, It's been over a month since our last adventure. Do you want to go on another one? I'd like to, although it was pretty scary last time, Riley said. He turned to the others and asked, What do you think? Do you want to go? The other three all nodded their heads. All right, Ruby said. Let's go. The five friends went to the magic book, closed their eyes and held hands. Ruby put her finger on the page of adventures and they all said the magic words, Please take us there. When they opened their eyes, they looked around to find where they had been sent to. It was very hot and dry. Lewis said, I think I know where we are. Look at that stone figure over there. I've been reading a book about ancient Egypt, and they had them there. They are called Sphinx, so I think we are in Egypt. The friends walked around the city, looking at different sites. Look, said Lewis, that's a statue of an Egyptian god. I can't remember his name, but it's definitely an Egyptian god. They saw many other things that proved they were in ancient Egypt, but the most impressive was a pyramid. It was very, very big and made from stones which were longer than the rooms in the castle. I wonder how they managed to get those huge stones here and to build this, said Ruby. Lewis replied, In the book I am reading, it shows the stones being rolled on tree trunks. They rolled the stone along them to move it. They used thousands of men to build the pyramid, and it took years to build it. Shiloh said, Look, there's a doorway here. Let's go in. The five friends entered the pyramid, but when they were inside, the door suddenly slammed shut. They were trapped. It was very dark inside the pyramid, but Lewis saw a flaming torch on the wall and took it down to show where they were. They were in a sort of chamber which had two tunnels leading from it. Each tunnel had some strange symbols marked on the entrance. What do these mean? Asked Casey. Ruby then saw what looked like a piece of paper with the same sort of symbols on it. He picked it up and Lewis said, I've seen something like this in a book. There's a code written on something called papyrus. The symbols are hieroglyphics. We'll have to work it out. Ruby said the first symbol is a C, the second is an A, and the third is a T, so this means a cat. Together they worked out the second word, which was a sphinx. The second tunnel had two symbols as well. One of them was the same as the first, a sphinx, but the other was different. This time Riley used the code. They worked out, this is a dog. They went to the tunnels. Which one should we go on? Asked Shiloh. I don't know, replied Ruby. We'll just have to guess. Eventually they chose the dog tunnel. They went cautiously and nervously into the tunnel. It was very dark. Lewis led the way with a torch. Suddenly they came to a dead end. There were two stones with symbols on the wall, a cat and a dog. Riley tried to push the cat stone, but nothing happened. Then he tried to push the dog stone, it moved. When he did this, some of the stones at the side were pushed out, and thousands of snakes began to slither onto the ground. Quick, let's get out of here, Lewis shouted, and they all turned and ran as fast as they could back down the tunnel. We should have chosen the tunnel with the cat, said Lewis, and remember now that the cat was a sacred animal for the ancient Egyptians. The five friends ran quickly down the tunnel and once again came to a wall. The wall had two symbols just like before, a cat and a dog. Push the cat one this time, said Casey, and Casey pushed the cat symbol. For a moment nothing happened, but then they heard a loud crash and a stone slab slid down to block their exit. "Let's get out of here and go home," said Ruby. They all held hands and said the magic words, "Please take us home." But nothing happened. They tried, but still they did not go home. Then they heard a low, rumbling noise, and they saw the two walls were slowly closing in. If they didn't stop, then they'd be crushed. The 5 friends were very frightened and thought they would die. Then Riley had an idea. "Look on the wall for the Sphinx and try to push it," he said. They looked frantically for the Sphinx. Suddenly Ruby shouted, "I've got it!" She pushed the stone and the walls began to move back. At the same time, the walls blocking their way moved up, and they quickly ran to the end of the tunnel. In front of them was a door. "This must be the way out," said Shyla. They saw 3 handles near the door. They were numbered 14, 22 and 28. Near the handles there was a large circle with a piece of wood across the middle of it. A sign nearby had the message, "Pull the handle, which is the distance around the edge of the circle." "How can we measure the distance? We don't have a measuring tool," said Casey. Ruby picked up the piece of wood which was across the middle of the circle. It had the number 7 on it and bent quite easily. "We can use this," she said. Riley took the stick and together they bent it round the edge of the circle. "There's just over 3 sticks. 3 sticks and a bit," said Riley. They all thought about this, and finally Lewis said, "The stick had the number 7 on it, so 3 and a bit of these is a bit more than 7 times 3. A bit more than 21, so 22 must be the handle we need to pull." The 5 friends all agreed with this, and Riley pulled down the handle with 22 on it. The door slid quietly open, and they rushed out into the fresh air. "Hooray!" they all shouted, "we're safe." Just then they saw a man some distance from them. He was pointing at them and he shouted, "Thieves!" They realized that he thought they had been robbing the pyramid. A crowd of people gathered and began to run towards them, yelling, "Get those thieves!" "We must get away," said Ruby. And once again they held hands and very quickly said the magic words, "Please take us home." The 5 friends all heaved a sigh of relief when they opened their eyes and found they were back in the castle. "That was a very frightening adventure," said Ruby. "I thought we were all going to die," said Shyla. The 5 friends all agreed it was not the sort of adventure they wanted to go on again. Princess Ruby, Lady Shyla, Lady Casey, Sir Riley and Sir Lewis went down to the kitchen and sat down to have a nice cool drink of lemonade. "When we've finished this, we'll all go out to play in the garden," said Ruby. "At least there are no dangerous snakes there."